Hey y'all, it's Brandy and welcome back to the Antisocials Library. In this video, we're just going to kind of briefly go over the quarterly stats for how I've been doing so far this year. I thought it would be fun to do kind of a quarterly check-in and also kind of talk about my plans for what I would like this channel to look like or what I'd like to be doing going forward into the next quarter or maybe into the end of the year. So we're going to talk about it and let's just kind of get into it. So I have read so far 33 books this year. So that has been 30 books from January to the end of March. And these statistics are just going to add in the last 3 books that I've read in April because right now it is April 14th when I'm filming this, and I just didn't feel like kind of changing the stats that I'm going to get to exclude those 3. So we're just going to pretend that those are included in the first quarter and it'll be fine. But these are all of the books that I have read so far this year, all 33 of them, and their star ratings. As you can see, there is a lot of Dungeon Crawler Carl. So I did a reread of Dungeon Crawler Carl before I continued with the series. Wanted to get back into the Butcher's Masquerade. I realized I just missed the entire story and I wanted to start over for no other reason than me just wanting to. So I just listened to the audiobook exclusively for all of them, and now I'm continuing the series with the audiobook and sometimes immersive reading when I have the time, and I'm just having a really good time. But yeah, those are all the books that I've read. I just kind of wanted to go over it really quickly, and now we're going to go into the stats that I have. I do use Storygraph, so I'm going to go just kind of do the reading stats that they give me so far this year, which is why it's just going to include the 3 books that I've read in April so far, which is fine. But yeah, so let's see. This 33 books, 6,650 pages with 233 hours of audio, which I think is kind of crazy because when you think about how much time that is spent listening to something being told to you, that's kind of crazy. Because again, I talked about this during my wrap up, but I listen to audiobooks at 2 point or even faster speeds. So it's not exactly like 233 hours being like listening to an audiobook, but still, that's still like half of that is still crazy. So for 3 months, but it's fine. I'm taking advantage of being able to listen to audiobooks like while I'm driving or while I'm doing certain things at work. And so at least I'm reading is what I'm telling myself. Like at least I'm consuming stories, because by the time I get off of work sometimes, and I'm also writing a lot these days. So like by the time I'm finished writing, like sometimes picking up a physical book and reading is like so draining. So I'm trying not to be hard on myself with really utilizing audiobooks, but I'm also going to, and we'll talk about my plans going forward for the quarter, but like I'm going to try to pick up physical books a little bit more. Most of my mood is dark, tense, and mysterious and emotional. That doesn't surprise me at all. I think those words could also just describe me as a human, especially the emotional and the dark part. So that doesn't surprise me that I would seek that out in my book. Pace is primarily medium over fast pace, but it's a pretty good split there. I lean towards a medium-sized book, which also kind of makes sense. And my audio length is also medium, also makes sense. I am proud of the fiction and nonfiction ratio because I've read 3 nonfiction books this year, and sometimes there are years that go by that I don't read any nonfiction. So the fact that it's April and I've already read 3, I'm happy with. I'm hoping to like read more and continue into the year continuing to read nonfiction, and I don't know how many more times I can say the word continuing, but I am like looking forward to continuing to read nonfiction. But what I will say is that the nonfiction that I've read have kind of left me hanging almost. The 3 that I read were Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, All the Way Down to the River, I think is what it's called, and The Many Lives of Mama Love. And I will be able to talk about The Many Lives of Mama Love during my April wrap up, because that is one of the books that I just read in April. Honestly, the 2 like memoir driven books by Elizabeth Gilbert and then by, what is her name? The Many Lives of Mama Love. Those 2 books, I just didn't really get anything out of them. I didn't really enjoy them. Like I said, I'll kind of go into it a little bit more when I get into the wrap up for The Many Lives of Mama Love, but like I like genuinely didn't like that one. But I did get a lot of and did really enjoy Maybe You Should Talk to Somebody, which I know is technically a memoir, but it kind of leans a little bit into the like self-help type nonfiction because she's really talking about why therapy and therapeutic techniques are really important, and she is a therapist, and she kind of talks about her journey of how she became a therapist and also how she went to therapy as a therapist. So while it is a memoir, it was like really informational. So I actually ended up rating that book. I rated it a 4 star. I don't normally rate memoirs because I don't think that I should just like put a star rating on what someone else's life experience is. But so that's why the other two I haven't rated. But because I thought that Maybe You Should Talk to Someone kind of leaned into the little bit more of like the informational and like self help, and because it was a high rating, I went ahead and rated it. But yeah, those are the three nonfiction that I read, and I'm really happy about that. My number one genre being fantasy, then thriller, then science fiction. Again, doesn't surprise me at all. I always read a lot of thrillers. Fantasy does kind of surprise me just a little bit, only because I don't normally read a significant amount of fantasy, but I have been mentally cognizant of wanting to pick up more fantasy, so it makes sense that that's growing. And then sci-fi doesn't surprise me in the least because it is Dungeon Crawler Carl. They're all Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I reread The Hunger Games, which I think counts as well. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure Dungeon Crawler Carl counts in the fantasy line for this genre as well. So, or for this count as well. So that's why the fantasy number is so high too. But yeah, this doesn't really surprise me. I did 58% audio, 39% print, and 3% digital. So, and that 3% is that one book, which was Maybe You Should Talk to Someone. I read that on my Kindle. My most read author was Matt Dinniman, with my second being Suzanne Collins, because I was rereading The Hunger Games, even though I haven't finished my reread of The Hunger Games yet, which is kind of crazy because I only have Mockingjay left, but I just kind of put it down and didn't continue reading it, so that's strange. Now, the big thing that I want to talk about is my average rating. My average rating for the quarter is a 4.13, which to me is crazy. Like, I've had 7 5-star books. 7. So here are the 7 5-star books that I've had. Again, a lot of them are, so Dungeon Crawler Carl was a reread, and Catching Fire and Hunger Games were rereads. But The Butcher's Masquerade, Project Hail Mary, and The Gate of the Pharaoh Gods, and Fahrenheit 451 were all new, and they were all 5 stars. So I thought that was really awesome. And then just to give it up for them, here are the 3 4.75 stars that I gave, which was City of Brass, Bat Eater and Other Names for Corazang, and Carl's Doomsday Scenario. I think about the City of Brass pretty frequently, and I don't know if that means I should have given it a 5 star because I really, really, really enjoyed that first book in the series, but we're going to leave it as a 4.75 for now, and then maybe I'll consider it as I'm going through the series because I am going to continue reading them. But yeah, those are the stats and kind of where I'm at right now in the year for the quarterly review. But I also wanted to just really briefly talk about the plans that I have for the channel and what I'd like to do here. So I do have some goals kind of going into the next quarter and kind of throughout the year, but like really focusing on really implementing in this quarter that we're currently in, and like so April, May, and June. I also feel like it's important to note that I am definitely one of those people that loves to load up my plate, like loves the idea of something and loves to plan. And then the execution, I realize like how busy and like normal of a human I am, and that I'm not superhuman and I don't have all the time in the world. But we're going to ignore all of that, and we're just going to have fun talking about all the plans that I want to do because it's fun. The number one goal that I have going into this next quarter is I want to get back into reading horror. I have not read like hardly anything horrific at all. Like I think I've read 2 this year, and it's April. I read Bat Eater and Buffalo Hunter Hunter. That's crazy. If you don't know, my entire like brand is horror and thrillers. It's like my favorite thing in the world, and I haven't really been consuming anything. I haven't been watching a lot of horror or thriller movies. I haven't been reading a lot of horror or thriller. I mean, my work in progress that I'm like currently writing is kind of teeters on like a mystery thriller with some horror aspects. So maybe I feel like I'm filling my cup that way, but no, I want to read more horror. And I do have a way of doing this. And it is actually through another amazing creator that I found here on YouTube. So Sarah over at Wicked Reading, this beautiful human being, I just recently found her channel. I don't know how I found it, and I don't know why I just now found it. I have been watching Booktube for years, like so many years. And the fact that I just now found her channel is crazy to me. But I did find that she has a horror bingo challenge, which is an annual challenge that she hosts where she creates this bingo board with horror prompts, and you're supposed to find horror or thriller books that meet these prompts to make a bingo. Or if you're a crazy person like me and like her, try to black out the board, which is why it is a whole year worth of a challenge. It started in October of 2025, so last October, and it's running until September 30th of 2026, and right now it's April. So I just want to let that sit in. It's April, and I just found out about this, and when I tell you that I am creating an entire TBR with plans to black out this board, my delusional brain thinks I can do it, and I think I'm going to try. But I'm going to have an entire video about my TBR with that because that would take way too long to get into. But just know that I am participating in the horror bingo challenge hosted by Wicked Reads, and I will have her announcement video and her channel linked down below because you should definitely check her out. She's awesome. I feel like that is just like serendipity, like finding her channel while I'm also feeling the need to read more horror. It was like meant to be. Another thing I want to really focus on in this next quarter is being better about being better about actually participating in my book clubs and my buddy reads. So I am in an in real life book club with a couple of my friends, and we do pick a book every month. And for the last 2 months, I haven't even gone. I did read the book 1 month, but I couldn't make it to the meeting. And then the other one, I just didn't even read it. And now we have one, our pick for April, and I have it right here sitting right next to me, and I haven't even started. Like, I need to be better about this, and I need to be better about actually participating in the book club. The other part of the book club and buddy read thing that I would like to be more focused on is I love participating in the live shows for like the book troupe and the literally dead book club hosted by Kayla, and the book troupe being hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads. And I haven't read like a single book that they've picked so far. Well, Gabby's changed to a quarterly book club, so I'm not really missing out too much, but I did miss that first quarter, and I didn't read the book, and I didn't participate in the live show, and like I just kind of missed that community aspect of being a part of like Booktube and like the Discord channels that we're in and all that stuff. So I would like to be better about participating with that, and it's also a really great way to, one, meet and talk to other people, which is a great thing, and two, read books that I don't know if I would have picked up or would have been on my radar or like would have went out and bought if not prompted for the book club. It works because Gabby and Kayla specifically have reading tastes that are very similar to mine. And of course, I'll have them linked down below as well. If you have not seen their channel, you should go check them out. But yeah, I want to be more cognizant of the buddy reads and the book clubs that I'm in. In terms of buddy read, I talk about her all the time. One day you'll actually meet her, or you could just go watch Bookish and Chaotic videos from back when we used to do them. But I read a lot of buddy reads with my friend Amanda, and we both have just been slacking on reading together. So we started this year thinking that we were gonna like maintain our reading eras together by buddy reading a bunch of books and discussing them like once a month, and we've done it like half of a time. Like I don't even know if we can count that first time because it wasn't even like a real discussion. So I just want to be better about those plans and like actually being a part of the community and like really engaging in the like bookish world. Another thing that is always the case, but like really specifically the case right now, especially in this next quarter, is reading down my physical TBR. Because I'm going through the process of cataloging my library right now, and I haven't gotten the number yet, so I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty sure that my physical TBR is like 400 and something books. And that's crazy because I own a lot of duplicate copies of books, like my Stephen King books and my Dracula books, and that means that my like 890 something book library a lot of it is duplicates. So if over 400 of them are unread, over half of my physical library is unread books. I don't need to buy books. I just don't. So I'm really going to be focused on reading my physical TBR, and the only things that I'm going to be like purchasing are for specific video ideas that I like. The TBR is kind of like out of my control, and Aardvark book box. I think I might pause book of the month, but right now I haven't paused book of the month, but I feel like I might keep Aardvark. I'm definitely going to keep Aardvark, but like I might need a break from book of the month. I'm not sure. I just haven't really been super obsessed with their choices, like their picks lately. And I have like so many book of the month books that I need to catch up on that I've gotten from them and I haven't read. So, and the other book box that I have that I'm not going to cancel is I have the Evernight subscription from Illumicrate, which is a quarterly book box subscription where they send a horror book each month, or each quarter, I mean. So since that's quarterly, I'm not going to cancel it. But yeah, out in terms of like going out and buying books or like ordering books for the hell of it, we're not doing that this quarter. We're just not. And the last thing that I'm going to plan on doing, not just this quarter, but like through the year is, and just like going forward for this channel in general, is I want to make reading fun for me. I want to make challenge videos and like really fun reading vlogs and like themed videos and things of that nature. I feel like I'm more inspired when I have those kind of like creative outlets to be able to do that. So rather than just like doing a weekly reading vlog of like, this is what I'm reading this week, which I still might do every once in a while if I feel like mood reading, but I kind of like the idea of doing like challenge videos or specific reading TBR things. So I have a couple of series ideas that I'd like to talk about and maybe get some feedback on if you're interested in like watching these type of things. So the first one is the monthly bite. That is my monthly TBR game, and that is sticking around. I might make some changes to how I do it, but right now it is a board game, and basically it is themed around Dracula, and you are starting in the woods and kind of trekking through the forest until you get to the castle. And each box on the board is a randomly pulled prompt from a stack of prompts that I came up with that again are all Dracula themed. And then there are specific like extra challenge boxes that you can land on, like the Children of the Night or a random TBR pick. And I don't mind that, but I think I want to make it, I need to come up with a way to really like drive home that I have to like read those books. Like I need like a punishment and a reward system for the next month kind of going forward. So if you have any ideas for that, like please let me know. Right now I have it to where if I've read all the books from the previous month, I get to play the game with a 9-sided die. So like you're more likely to get higher numbers and make it across the board faster. And for a punishment, I like use a standard 6-sided die. And I don't know if that's like really fun for me or for you or for, I don't know. But I'm going to be thinking about that and maybe doing some changes in there. But I love my monthly TBR game. I missed playing it in April, even though it was fun to have Zach on the channel. But like I miss playing the game and having that TBR. So that is definitely going to be continuing, just maybe with some tweaks. Okay, so for new stuff though, I am thinking about doing a specific series called A Study In, and I think this is going to be like really genre focused readings. I mean, you see them all the time and I love watching them, but someone will pick 3 or 4 books that are in a specific genre and read those for the week and then just like talk about them. And I think I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna call it A Study In. So like my first one I have an idea for that I'll be starting soon, A Study in Dark Academia Fantasy. And so like the entire vlog will be Dark Academia fantasy books, and I will be reading them and reviewing them specifically in that time period and in that vlog, if that makes sense. So it's just a typical genre reading vlog, but I'm gonna like theme it to my Dark Academia vibe and call it A Study in ... So a study in the genre. Another type of like series that I want to do is another one that's like fairly popular, but I'm really interested in doing is like a creature feature series. So like you again have a reading vlog where you are reading books that feature certain creatures for the week or for however long it is. So like I could read a creature feature dragon edition, a creature feature vampire edition, a creature feature witch edition, and then like just kind of have a series on my channel of a whole bunch of different creature themed vlogs. What kind of inspired this was actually Kayla from Books and Lala, because she has a very similar way of doing it. And now that I'm thinking about it, does she call it creature feature? Because I might need to come up with a different name if that's the case. Like, I just like thought of that because it sounded good, but like of course I did because it rhymes. So I don't know, I'll have to check that out. She has went down like this rabbit hole of reading books with like certain creatures or mythological things in them, and I just love that, and I think that would be really fun. Some of my favorite things in the world are dragons and vampires, so that's kind of what sparked it, is that I could read dragon books and vampire books. And then I thought about, I was like, oh, and I can do werewolves and witches and just a whole bunch of other things. So I think I might do kind of like a creature feature series as well. Another one that I am currently in the middle of filming, and hopefully you would have already seen before this video goes up, depending on how the planning goes, but I'm going to be doing a shelf it or stake it series, which is just your typical read it or unhaul it. We love them. We see them everywhere. We love to watch them. Read it or unhaul it. Again, I'm trying to read down my TBR, and this is one of the ways that I'm going to do it. So I have a cauldron. I have this cauldron here, and it has every single physical book that's on my TBR that I sat down and I wrote. Every single physical book on my TBR that I could see on my shelves. And in each vlog, I'm going to pull 2 or 3, maybe 4, depending on how fast I read them or if I actually unhaul them. And we're just going to randomly pick them up and we're going to read them. The only thing that isn't included in this cauldron is my Stephen King collection, because I am reading Stephen King in order. So Stephen King and Agatha Christie. And so a lot of my library is Stephen King, so it might not look like there's a lot of books written down in that cauldron, but I'm reading Stephen King in publication order, so pulling a random one out of the hat just doesn't work for what I'm doing. So I have a couple of exceptions for reading Stephen King in and out of order, but not enough exceptions to like write them all down and just randomly read them out of order, if that makes sense. That's what I plan on doing with that, and I'm calling shelf it or stake it because, you know, like a vampire theme, you know, you're either going to shelf the book or you're gonna like stake the book, you know, it's stupid, but that's what I'm calling it. Another idea that I really want to do is what I'm calling closing the coffin, which is an idea that I have to kind of read my unfinished series. I am in the middle of so many different series, and so many of these series that I'm in the middle of, I only have one book left to read, like 1 or 2 books left to read. And why I don't just like pick that up, like one series that comes to mind is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I've read Scythe and Thunderhead, and all I have to do is read The Toll, and then I'm done with that trilogy. There are extra books like that he's written after the trilogy, but like in terms of the original series, there's only one more book that I have to read. And there are so many examples of that where I'm in the middle of a series. So what I thought would be fun every once in a while is when I'm in the mood to just read, like binge a series, I'm going to call it Closing the Coffin, and I'm going to close the coffin on that series. The other thing, again, that I am still planning on doing is Classic Roulette, which is a series that I put my classic books that I want to read, or maybe don't necessarily want to read quite yet, on a spinner wheel and randomly spin it. And hopefully about once a month, I would like to read 12 classics this year. So if I can do it once a month or once every other month. I missed January already, so like it's not a big deal, but basically whenever I feel like I want to do it, I'm gonna, you know, randomly spin the wheel and pick a classic and kind of discuss it with you guys. This one is a little bit harder because not everyone loves classics and not everyone wants to talk about them in depth the way that I want to, but it's fun for me, and that's really all that matters because it's my channel and I make the rules. So I plan on doing that as well. Last but not least, especially not least, because this is the thing that I'm arguably most excited about, is I have this idea for yet another series, and I know that I'm talking about so many series. I know that I am. I'm not talking about implementing them all in this quarter. I'm just thinking about this channel going forward and where I'd want it to go. It's going to be very series based. It's going to be very challenge based. But I have this idea for this series that I'm so excited about called Resurrecting the Hype. I kind of thought of this when my boyfriend Zach, when he pulled Six of Crows off my shelves for me to read in April, and I kind of had to explain to him after the fact that like it's crazy that he picked that because I completely missed the hype of Six of Crows. I've owned that book for so long and I never got around to reading it when it was so popular. I actually never got around to reading any of the popular books, like especially when you're thinking the traditional YA popular books. Like I tried to read Shadow and Bone, but like DNF the series, but I never read Six of Crows. I never read The Vampire Academy. I never read The Mortal Instruments or The Infernal Devices. I've never read any of those like quintessential like YA, mostly fantasy novels. So I think what I'm going to do is read them as a first time reader, as an adult, and see if I can resurrect the hype. Like, see if it makes sense and see if I can see the hype that these books got and see if they make sense. Because I love reading my old favorite books that I used to read. I read The Hunger Games like several times. I read Twilight several times. I've read like my favorite Stephen King books several times. I've read Dracula several times, but I never got around to reading The Mortal Instruments. Like, that just seems crazy. Like, I've never read a Cassandra Clare to me. So I'm going to be doing that, and it's probably going to start with Six of Crows relatively soon. I'll read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and maybe try to step back into the Grishaverse with Shadow and Bone, but I tried to read it, and I don't remember liking it, so I don't know if I want to, like, put myself through that again. We'll see, but yeah, that is the other and last series that I have planned for this channel for now. But yeah, just kind of expect a lot of challenge videos, reading vlogs, recommendation videos. Like, I want to do a lot of sit down recommendation videos that are maybe a little niche, but like kind of fun. I would love to do more like collaboration videos with other creators or other just like people here on the internet at all. Like, I think that would be awesome. So if you have any ideas for anything that I just said or any thoughts or recommendations, like, please leave them down below, because I'm literally just faking it till I make it. I'm literally just walking with my eyes closed, hoping I don't run into a building. Like, I am having so much fun making these videos, and like, it's so silly and stupid, but like, I'm having such a good time doing it. So I would love if you would give me your feedback and let me know what you would want to see, so that maybe we can align what I want to make and what you want to see, so that we can both be so happy. Wouldn't that be nice? The number one thing that I want to know is your feedback on the monthly bite. Please help me make it better. Please help me make it more engaging. And two, what of those things that I've kind of talked about seem the most intriguing to watch? Like, you want to watch a vampire vlog? Do you want to watch vampires versus dragons? Like, which one's better? Do you think it would be interesting to read nothing but like a really niche horror genre for a week, like an eco horror genre for a week, or anything like that? Just let me know what you think. Let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it down below and like brainstorm and groupthink down there. Yeah, if you have made it this far and you don't have anything else to say down below and you don't want to participate in the conversation, but you want to let me know that you were here, go down in the comments and leave the bat emoji for the channel. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also turn on that little notification bell so that you know when I post next, because it has been every week, but maybe it might be a little bit more, depending on how delulu I get going into this next quarter. Thank you again for watching and just letting me ramble about my little ideas and my silly little goofy time. And just remember to read well and rest well, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.